Well, welcome to this week's edition of Hawk Talk. I'm Seth Morkirky.
I'm Susanna Moberg.
We had another busy weekend for football and volleyball this weekend, and we're going to be talking to a coach today. So go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do here.
My name is Michael McGuire. I'm the quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator here with football now, and I came here from Sheridan, Wyoming. Spent the last 6 years as the head coach at Bighorn High School in Bighorn, Wyoming, and got this great opportunity this spring. And my wife Marissa and my family we're really excited to be here and love the Dickinson community.
Yeah, I also love the Dickinson community. Also
awesome.
From Wyoming, you know, we made the transition. The weather is pretty similar. We're starting to get some of that snow, and Wyoming's getting that snow. What has been probably the biggest transition from Wyoming to North Dakota for you?
You know, in terms of, I guess, just a total transition, it's been pretty easy. In terms of football, probably the biggest thing was just getting into a weekly and daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very routine person, so once I've kind of gotten into that routine, it's been a really easy transition for us.
Yeah, and you have some college experience, college coaching experience in your past. How has that helped you, whether it was in high school coaching, or football or basketball, and coaching here right now at Dickinson?
Yeah, just a lot of it is just being around guys that know the right way to do things, and being able to pick and choose the things that you really liked about what they did, and being able to incorporate those into the way you're going to do things.
Yeah, and you transitioned from the head coach, you just mentioned that, head coach at Bighorn. Now you're the offensive coordinator, the quarterbacks coach. That's still a really significant role in the team, one of the main coaches on the team. Is there much pressure difference from that high school role to this college role, or do you feel that at all?
No, not really. You know, actually right now I feel like I get to do more football stuff, and I don't have to spend as much time worrying about a lot of the stuff that comes with the head coach's role. So that's been really nice to be able to just focus on football for the most part.
Yeah.
And now that you're here at DSU, you also wear a hat of the intramural director. Mm-hmm. What are some exciting things we can look forward to this year that you're planning through those?
Right now we've got signups just completed for volleyball, so we'll have some co-ed and some women's volleyball, as well as co-ed and men's flag football and women's flag football. So we got a lot of that stuff going on. This winter we're looking at a few different ideas of maybe some dodgeball tournaments.
Yeah.
I know with some of the new stuff over at the student center, possibly doing, you know, like some Madden tournaments and things like that I think some people on campus would really enjoy. So there's lots of ideas out there and stuff we're trying to put together, and if anybody else has great ideas, we're really open to it, and just trying to get more things on campus for our students to be able to do and stay busy with and enjoy.
Yeah, my one suggestion would be a basketball tournament. Obviously, 5-on-5 basketball.
Yes.
I think that gets the most people out. And
we will have basketball, and one other thing we've really talked about is a big softball tournament this spring, kind of when the weather, you know, maybe a week or two before finals, and I think that'd be something everybody enjoys too. So a lot of ideas out there, and we're just trying to see how we're going to piece it together on the calendar.
Good.
Awesome. Well, Seth, the basketball star, I guess, on this 5-on-5. Also, football. Let's talk a little bit about football again. We're halfway through the season. In your eyes, recap this season. How's it been going so far?
You know, we're off to a good start. Had a kind of a hiccup in week 2 where we didn't play as well as we would have liked to up at Rocky against a really good team. But from there, I think we've really grown as the season has gone on. Our defense is playing great football right now. 2 shutouts in 5 games, and Coach Thea really has those guys flying around and just making a lot of plays. And offensively, we continue to improve week to week. And you know, especially as a team, I thought last week at Dakota State we had some adversity. We had you know, down in the 4th quarter in that game, and I thought our team really showed the mental toughness and just the attitude to be able to hang in there and be able to get a win. So I think that was a great day for us, and I think, you know, it really shows the maturity and the growth of this team right now.
Yeah, you just mentioned that Dakota State, traveling there, also traveled to Wisconsin, traveled to Rocky too. What are the keys to victory as you're playing on the road, and what are the steps that you have to take as we're heading to Waldorf this weekend, another long road trip, good test for the team. What are the keys that you have to take? You
know, I've always thought that the main key is understanding that it's a business trip. It's not a vacation. You know, we're going there for a reason, and one reason only, and that's to win the football game. And then a lot of it is just being mature in how you handle yourself. You know, when you go in places to eat, you know, being having great manners. You know what I mean? Going to bed at the right time of night, and just doing all those little things that I think when game time comes around, you haven't put yourself in a position to have to worry about something that you were doing or weren't doing. Just doing things the right way, and so that when the game time comes, you can focus on the game.
Yeah, yeah. We're now ranked 16th. We moved up. A lot of that to do with the coaching staff. A lot of that to do with the players. It's really awesome to see this football team being so successful. I have an interesting question for you. We're trying to do a few more interesting questions this year.
Okay.
A young staff, or I should say an experienced staff, a young staff, a lot of first-year guys. Coach Miller, Coach Leno, Coach Stanton are all kind of veteran guys. Out of all of these coaches that have mixed together, what is the most surprising personality that you've kind of ran into? One you didn't expect, or one that people wouldn't know looking at the surface of them?
Coach Miller's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I really appreciate sarcasm, and he's got a lot of it.
Yeah.
So when I first came here, he was kind of quiet, but I've really enjoyed just his. He's an awesome guy to be around. Puts a smile on my face every day. So, but every single person on the staff, and I think that's one of the strengths of our program is. From players to coaches, is we just have a lot of really great people that are easy to get along with, pulling for each other, working with each other, and so it's been a great experience.
Yeah, and we've asked everyone this question so far. It's our centennial year, and you're new to campus. So far in your little bit of time here at DSU, what does DSU mean to you?
I think DSU to me just means a tight-knit family, and that's one of the things that I love about it, and that I know my family loves about Dickinson, is it feels like kind of a tight-knit community, and once a Blue Hawk, always a Blue Hawk, and we're really proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, well, we're extremely happy that you're here, Coach. Happy for your intramural role and for your football coaching role. The role that you play in the community has been great, and we're just happy to have you on.
All right, thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah. And we'll be back talking with an athlete who's experienced some of that family from a faraway place.
Life is full of many successes, achievements, stages. Every year we grow, things change, and pretty soon we realize we want and need to do more. When you're ready for that next step, Dickinson State University will get you there. Find out how at dsublue.com.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We've got another athlete with us today who's traveled from far away to join our DSU family. So why don't you introduce yourself, say a little bit about what you do here at DSU and where you're from.
Okay, my name is Rodney Henry. I'm from Cascade St. Anne in Jamaica, and to be exact, that's on the peak of the Dry Harbor Mountain. I was recruited about a year and a half ago to come to DSU to do cross country and track and field, so yeah, that's what drew me here.
Yeah, and you took 7th last year at the conference meet. Your team took 1st. You guys are projected 1st. You're probably projected pretty high as well. What things did you do in the off season to kind of get you to a place where you can really compete well this season?
Once an athlete will always be an athlete, whether you're retired, yes or no. But during my off season, I would like do mileage by myself, do a little bit of hiking here or there, biking, and just stay active overall, not competitive wise, but just to keep the body in shape and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had Coach Whitcop on a few weeks ago on the show. He's a very high energy guy, seems like a great coach.
Sure.
What does he bring to the team as a coach?
Well, as a coach, as a team overall, if you don't it's from the head. And if the head is right, then the rest of the body is right, and from the first time I was introduced to him, he gives off this positive energy, and 10 minutes after meeting the team, we feel like brothers, and that's the culture that he instilled in the team, and he's just an awesome coach. There's nothing much you could really ask for a coach. He have all the components and everything that a real, true coach has,
Wow, that's some good words. Wow, that's what an honor. You become definitely one of the most competitive runners on the team. You're probably the first on the guys' team. Becoming a leader, you took 22nd at the first cross country meet. Took 16th up in Montana. You're you're establishing yourself as the main guy on the team. So what kind of goals do you have individually for this year and then as a team as well?
Well, definitely the number one goal is this year is to go to national, represent for the Blue Hawk as usual to the fullest, Team-wise, yeah, and individually, it's just to make my family proud. I've been away from my family for almost 4 years.
Wow.
I haven't seen anyone related by blood, so it's kind of, how do I say, for them to be proud, knowing that I'm far away from them, still keeping the morals and all of that. And thanks to my wife, she's there for me 100 times, even though she might call me like 300 times within an hour to make sure I'm okay. But yeah, other than that, just to make my family proud and all that.
Yeah. Wow, that's really great. You're looking to get, as we mentioned, the fourth consecutive conference championship.
Yeah.
You were here for the one last year, the two ones before that, the team had gotten. Do you feel any pressure, and is it positive or negative, or how do you kind of deal with that emotion that you guys are kind of supposed to get this fourth conference championship?
And to be honest, I'm pretty confident in the team.
Yeah.
Because we're like brothers. We do pretty much everything together. We pumped each other up, and it's just for everybody to put their pieces to the puzzle, and then at the end of the day, we'll be victorious. We might have a little bit a hitch here and there, but on the day, that's what we're working towards.
Yeah. You're headed to Jamestown this weekend as a team. What's the anticipation for that meet this weekend?
Well, I ran on that course before, and it's pretty nice. It's pretty flat, and it's just to go out there and set the pretty much like set the standard or something. Have an aim for conference coming in and make a statement and let them know that DSU is not joking and we're here for the fourth title this year.
That's right.
So we're just pretty much setting it and drive some fear into them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The girls team as well is doing pretty well this season, both
Awesome.
individually and as a team. What's that like when you train together?
Well, it's I've been on this team and I can't recall any team feud nor anyone fighting or I don't like that person. Boys, males or females, we work together. It's a joy to see after the male would run and the female would be out there cheering and chanting and vice versa. It's just a family unit. We chill together, everything together, and it's just team chemistry because last week we were up there in Montana and the boys were on the starting line and we were all pumped up and we see each other every day.
Yeah.
And we're there, hey, we need you, we're depending on you and all that. And this other team was on the sideline and I was like, man, I wish I had a team like that.
Yeah.
And Blue Hawk, which is what we do, we went over and we hugged them and we're going to compete against these guys, And then yet still we go over and we let them feel like, feel loved.
Yeah.
I give them some of our team spirit also.
That's good, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I want to transition to kind of a weird question, not a weird question, just a kind of a funny question. Your attire, not just your attire, kind of the guys' attire. I've seen you guys wearing short shorts when it's freezing cold out. I've seen snow on the ground, it's raining. And I've seen you guys wearing sweatshirts and sweatpants when it's hot out. So the question is, who has kind of the craziest style? Obviously, I know Trey.
Oh, Trey
dresses.
definitely. Trey definitely. Trey would. Trey's something else, and he's kind of the a really good backbone in the team and vibes-wise and bring a positive energy to the team.
Yeah.
Trey is it. I'm gonna give that to him.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe we'll get him on
That's
someday.
pretty
And he'll call Rodney.
Yeah.
For
Well,
sure.
you and Trey are two of the four seniors on the team.
Yeah.
And you guys have started to take on that role with you have quite a few younger guys, sophomores and freshmen on the team. How are you guys leading on and off the field?
Well, it's just positive energy right through maintaining the team culture. Make sure this is what's going to happen after we left. It's just a tradition. It just keep going. We came here and we saw what happened and we just live with it and it's going to be here after. So we just work with the flow.
Well, man, you seem to be embracing this DSU family.
Yeah.
that
I'm
positive-
so happy to be a Blue Hawk.
Yeah.
I trade DSU for a warmer climate, and I don't regret it, because I got an offer in Texas, and when I heard about DSU and my wife's family and everything up here, and I heard it was cold, and I was kind of iffy about coming here, but I don't regret one moment of it.
Man.
I enjoy it.
Well, that's great. We're happy to have you here. What has been maybe the best moment you've had here at DSU?
The best moment?
Or what has DSU kind of done for you that you want to just take away with you as you head off into the future?
Well, it instills a certain family trait in me where, you know, no matter where you are, because on the team we have different persons from different parts of the island. I'm from a different country, you know, and the whole family thing and the unity and the whole, you know, being in life. It's just teaching life, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, Rodney, it's been so good to have you on here. This is one of the few conversations I've ever had with you, and I can just feel that energy that you bring in. I'm thankful to have you on campus.
All right, no
and
problem.
Here.
Yeah.
My pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
All righty.
And we'll be back with another athlete right after this. Well, welcome back to Hawk Talk. We're here talking with another athlete who was busy, has had a busy career. Go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do here.
I'm Kira Stuckey. I'm from Huntley, Montana, and I'm a junior setter on the volleyball team.
Yeah, this is your third year. Didn't take a redshirt year because you started playing right away.
Yep.
What has it been like to be at DSU these past 3 years?
It's definitely been a change from high school. I came from a very successful program. I played in 4 state championships, won 2, took second in 2. So definitely just the college game has been different. I love it though. I wouldn't change it for the world. The speed of the game, I love everything about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're getting wins here and there, but like I said, it's a change from coming from a small town in Montana where we're used to winning all the time.
Yeah. I want to talk about something that happened this past weekend. You picked up your 1,000th assist in your career, and that's a big milestone, a big feat, especially in your junior year. It's only your junior year, and you have another year ahead of you. You got this whole season ahead of you. What does that mean as an individual and for your team? Because obviously that happens with your team as well.
Yeah, I'm super, super proud of myself, but without my teammates, without my passers, and without my hitters, I would still be at 0. So I owe it all to my team and to my hitters for allowing me to get those assists, because without them, I would still be at 0, like I said. So.
Yeah, you've had some up and down roads so far this season, some tough away games, but you've taken lots of games to the 4th and 5th set. What will it take for you girls to finish those out?
I think it just, in the end, it comes down to who wants it more. Like you said, we've gone to the 4th and 5th set quite a few times, and I just think here now we're getting into the second half of this season, and we don't want to lose to the same team again in those same kind of situations.
Right.
They're heartbreaking to lose in the 4th and the 5th, and so I think it's just going to come down to heart and who wants it more. And I think that we're probably going to come out on top in the next half.
Yeah, I must add that they are heartbreaking to watch when you guys take them to the 4th and 5th, and then oh man. But I know that you guys are going to continue to find success on the road and at home. But you picked up your first conference win this past weekend at Waldorf, a hostile environment, heading on the road for 2 more conference games. What does it feel like to be going on these road games, knowing that these conference games are very important?
We're just trying to stay focused. This last weekend we played Viterbo, who's number 5 in the nation, and they're good. They're a good volleyball team, but we had to refocus the next day and go get Waldorf, and that's what we did. And so I think it was really nice knowing that we were away this last weekend and being able to pick up a road win going into this next weekend, because this is a big weekend for us. We're sitting 5th. We're in a 3-way tie for 5th, so we're one win away from 4th and 2 wins away from 3rd.
Yeah.
So this weekend, we're just trying to kind of stay focused and still have some fun. Volleyball still has to be about fun. So.
Right, exactly. And then you're coming back home. I don't want to look past this weekend, but just looking ahead, you're coming back home the next weekend, and these past games at home, it's kind of been a wild environment. There's something about Scott Gym. I believe it's the hashtag Make Scott Gym Great Again. Parker and I started that one last year, so we're carrying it over. The student section has been something else, and the crowds are getting bigger and bigger. What is it like to play in front of those home crowds and have that student section just yelling at the other team?
Oh, it's so fun. We know we come into our huddles or whatnot, and we're like, hey, they're cheering for us. You know, they're cheering obviously against the other team too, but overall they're cheering for us. And so it's just a great environment to play in, and just makes us really proud to have that support system.
Yeah. So we've had a few other volleyball players on the show in the past few weeks. We've heard a little bit about when you travel, you guys have dance parties. So in your opinion, who is the best dancer on the team on those bus dance parties?
Well, usually we do them in the locker room, like pregame, but I don't know. I would like to say Ellie thinks she's the best dancer.
I probably wouldn't guess Ellie.
She's always dancing. Kennedy, Kylie, Reagan's always in there.
Yeah.
Kadara breaks down some moves sometimes too, but Ellie thinks she's the best. I'll give it to her.
Yeah, you guys have a really fun team. You're really high energy, lots of celebrating. What does that do for your team to have that high energy spirit?
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of girls that have super high energy, and it's great to play with. You know, it's really hard for us to get down because we always have that high energy. So each one of us picks each other up, whether it's somebody on the court, somebody on the bench, you know. Everybody's always picking each other up, making each other laugh, and we all, our team has great smiles. So anybody who smiles, you know, it's just like, okay, we're all right. So yeah, that's nice.
And looking ahead to this weekend and then almost pretty much the rest of the season, actually, taking it one game at a time, obviously. What are the keys to victory that you girls just need to focus on? Obviously, focusing more on yourself and how to attack coming together. But what are the keys to victory in your opinion?
In my opinion, it's starting off strong and finishing strong, and that's actually what we did against Waldorf. We started off the match on a 6-0 run, and that's one of the first times the whole season where we scored the first point and then carried on. And so that was the one thing we did against Waldorf, and then we finished the game. The closest they came, they beat us one set, but then the closest they came was 21-25. And so we just decided, you know, it's time to finish. So I think that's very important, you know, the finish and the end, or the finish and the start, I'm sorry. And then just having heart and, you know, having that mentality that go for broke. So
yeah, and you become a leader on the court, off the court here at DSU. You're transitioning into more of a broader leadership approach to the North Star Athletic Association has named you a student on the student athlete board, I believe is what it's called. Talk about what that is and what it's doing for our conference and what it means for DSU for you to be on that board.
Yeah, it was really cool. Coach Stanton contacted me and Coach Hartman and asked me if I would be on it, and I said yes. It's just a group of athletes in the conference. We have, so far we have one from each school, and we're working on getting two from each school, two reps is what they're called, and we're just kind of a voice for the athletes, you know, if there's any problems or whatever, just trying to get everybody more involved because our conference is so spread out. It's hard when Viterbo's 13 hours away or whatever, you know, we're a long ways away, and so just kind of a voice and a connection between the whole North Star and the conference. So
that's great.
Yeah. So you're obviously involved with a lot of things on campus, this student athlete board, you play volleyball, you work with Seth and I at the Heritage Foundation. So being involved on campus and in this school, what does DSU mean to you?
You know, just like they said before, DSU is just a family. It's a home away from home. That was one of the first things I noticed when I came here on my recruiting trip. The volleyball team, it was just, they were like sisters, you know, it was a second family. And I've noticed that in a lot of different parts, the TR program, the Heritage Foundation, you know, it's a home away from home for sure.
Yeah, well, we're excited that you're here, excited for this coming year, this next year for you, and we're just happy that you're a part of this family. Thanks for coming
guys.
on.
Thank you.
And we'll be back recapping this past weekend and looking forward to the next right after this. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We just kind of want to recap this past weekend. We didn't have a whole lot of sports going on, but the ones that did, they were significant games, and looking forward to the next.
Yeah, so we had Rodney on the show today,
Yep.
and he's a cross-country runner, and so we know that this weekend they're heading to Jamestown for their cross-country meet. So hopefully it's dry and not too cold, because if it's anything like Dickinson this week, it'll be a little rainy.
Yeah, I think that, like he said, that's a good course, and it'll be a good challenge for both the men and the women. I think it's the first time that most of the conference is at a cross-country meet, and that might be the only time that they get one. They have one more before the conference meet, and this might be the only one that they get. Rodeo went to Iowa, and I think the weather was kind of tough there. They went to Iowa. Geraldine Wiseman took 4th in the barrel. Sterling Lee took 2nd in steer wrestling. Clay Jorgensen took a top finish in the bareback. You know, these rodeo athletes, they continue to impress us. They continue to just come out and show up. And it's some of the same names keep showing up, and some new names keep showing up. And I think that's really impressive.
Yeah. We haven't gotten any results. We know that golf was in Rapid City this last weekend. Like I said, we don't have any results from that. But we do know that this weekend they have their home meet at the Bully Pulpit golf course. And I'm not much of a golfer. I've never golfed there myself. But I do know that now that it's fall, they probably shouldn't run into any snakes. So I know that's a big deal on that course. So
that is. And that's the conference meet.
Yep, their conference meet.
And we talked to Coach O'Donnell a couple weeks ago about having that home meet. They get a golf here all summer. And in the spring, and I think that is kind of a factor that can play our way. And I don't know if we've really played any conference teams this year, so that'll be kind of a challenge. It'll be interesting to see how they do.
To hopefully hear results from that one.
And hopefully we'll get some results. Maybe we'll go out there and
maybe
watch
we should go watch. I don't know.
Looking at volleyball, we just talked to Kira. You know, they went to Viterbo. I think Viterbo is ranked number 5. Tough sets there, especially playing at Viterbo. But then they, like she said, they turned around Saturday, beat Waldorf, got their first conference win, and I think that was a key victory, especially, like she said, heading into this next week of away games. I think they're playing Presentation and Mayville. Quite a long drive heading to Presentation and then back to Mayville. It's going to be a kind of a shaky transition there. But I think if they respond like they did this past weekend, they can come out with 2 wins and move up into that 4th or 3rd place, and that'll be great.
Definitely. And then we have football traveling again this weekend. They beat Dakota State this last weekend, and this weekend they're heading to Waldorf. You're heading to Waldorf. You'll be there. So that'll be exciting to hear about. And
that Dakota State game, I'm going to tell you, it was cold. But, you know, it's hawk weather. We always say that's hawk weather, whether it's sunny or cold. And that game was full of ups and downs. A lot of adversity, like Coach McGuire talked about. Quite a few turnovers on both sides of the ball. Jay Liggins came in at the end. We had him on last week. Came in at the end, had an interception, saved the game. Not saved the game, but sealed the deal for us. And that was really cool. One thing I do have to say, the North Star Athletic Association, for the 2nd week in a row, gave awards to Dakota State when we beat them, and I'm not really sure. This isn't a complaining thing. I'm wondering, and maybe they'll answer this someday. I know they've got quite a few tweets from myself and other people.
I do get to read the conversations you have with them.
And I'm just wondering, you know, what's the deal here? We beat Dakota State. I know they played well, but we got guys on our side that play well. We also have runners on our team that, like the cross country team. They're kind of getting snubbed out of a couple opportunities to win some awards, but obviously it's us versus the North Star, as I always say, us versus the North Star. That's kind of the motto we're adopting. We're going to forget about all that, and then we'll see how this next week goes as far as awards go. But you know, it's been a fun week. Looking forward to this next week. Hopefully it's warmer in Waldorf. Hopefully it's warm wherever we're at. You know, but I guess we'll be back next week, hopefully in some warmer weather.
Better news
regarding
North Star.
That's right. But until then, you can check out any results, any live things if we have them on DSUBlueHawks.com here on Channel 18 of Consolidated. But until next week, Hawks are up.